I think we all have to remember that when someone is grieving, they not only feel alone and isolated in their grief and in their horrific feelings of uncertainty and anger and fear and helplessness, but during a pandemic, they really need that extra support. They really need to know that people out there are thinking about them and that people care about them and that people are remembering the person who died and thinking about that person, because one of the things that people who are grieving really experience so tremendously is that feeling that everybody's life has gone on. They are yesterday's news. The person who died is not going to be remembered. There's guilt. There's all kinds of emotions that need to be addressed. So check in with people who are grieving. Let them know you're thinking about them. Let them know that you are thinking about the person who died and that you remember that person and that you think about that person all the time, and send them some specific memories and specific experiences you had with that person. Show them pictures, talk about them. The thing I remember so vividly back in 1970 was that nobody ever mentioned my mother and sisters ever, because back then people thought the best way to deal with someone who's grieving is to never mention their names and not remind the person who is grieving about their terrible losses, when in fact it's quite the opposite. When you are grieving the loss of a loved one, what you want more than anything is to hear their name over and over again and to know that other people miss them and are thinking about them. So this is a really important time to reach out. And even though we are all in this state of uncertainty and loss because of the pandemic, we can't forget the people who are grieving yet even more loss and even more uncertainty because they are grieving the death of a loved one. So their lives are far more complicated right now than everyone else in the world, even though we're all in this pandemic together.